Alright, first thing I want a mugwort tincture. So in goes the dry herbage, and mugwort's solvent range is anywhere around 40 to 55% alcohol. And this is, of course, with dry herbs. If you're going to do it with fresh herbs, it's a little different. And I wanted to make this right about now so that it has a good 2 weeks, possibly even more, to do the whole maceration, the whole breakdown process. So I'm gonna go a little bit more. So, my jar is halfway full. Going to employ the usage of a funnel. So you want to go in with good old spring water, no tap water on this. We don't want anything funky in our tincture. So I'm going about halfway in there, and then the rest I'm going in with Everclear. Now I will put a link to exactly all the steps that I do for my tinctures and my process in a little bit more detail, because I do have a video that's already been uploaded on those. So this was just kind of the quickie version because I really wanted a mugwort tincture for Samhain. Just topping that off with Everclear. Mana Kepper. And then I'm going to use a Sharpie on the top of the lid. This gets a good shake every day for about a good solid 2 weeks. Look at that, it's already changing color. Hello, divination tincture. So yeah, if you use a Sharpie on the top of these silver lids like that, later on you can use a cotton ball with acetone and wipe it right off. So I just like to put the date on there so I'm keeping track of what it is and when I made it. So there you are. Okay, so really wanted to make an incense blend for Samhain. I'm gonna pop him in one of these cool owl jars. First herb that I am going to go into is a little bit of allspice. Now, most of these herbs I picked either because their correspondences with divination or a strong protection, or even just cleansing, or even prosperity as well. Next, I'm going to go in with some anise seed. This has got that very licoricey smell. As well as strong correspondences for divination. And that's what it's all about when the veil is thin, right? Next, I'm going in with some mesquite bark. This is a very protective correspondence to me. It's also very prolific where I wear, so I go ahead and harvest some of the dry bark from trees whenever I come across it. It smells really good when you burn it as well. I wanted this blend to be not only to serve a purpose with the working with elements and divination powerhouse, I also want it to smell so good. Next, I'm going to go in with a bit of patchouli. As well as some of my star anise, these guys, the whole one. I am going to go in with some lemongrass. This is a good cleanser, a good thing for divination, a good thing to call in good spirits, which is what I want hanging around my sacred space. Oh my gosh, it smells so good already, you guys. Can't even. And I also want mugwort present in this mixture as well. I really don't even feel like breaking it up into small pieces, to be honest. I was debating about using the pestle there on the mortar and breaking it apart, but I actually like it with just the whole pieces of goodness in there. It's just pretty on its own, solid like that. So I'm going to take a moment and imbue this mixture with my intentions. And lastly, I am going to add some cinnamon. I almost forgot him. I'm going to add a shot of calendula on top of this as well. There we go. Now, after after the cinnamon and the calendula as my little toppers there. It is just a matter of imbuing this with my intention. And I'm going to go ahead and bottle it up. So, I'm gonna come closer to see if I can do this so you guys can see it without me spilling it. Doesn't that look great? It smells divine. Oh, yeah, he wanted to come say hi. Smells so good, you guys. So much magic potential in that right there. So, yep, that is my Samhain mixture, loose incense mixture that I'm going to make. And why I wanted to make this kind of early so that it could be stored in the jar and all of these essences can just marinate together and just make this own unique incense that will be ready for the special day. All right, guys, it's time for my Samhain Altar Tour 2017. So I'm gonna get right into this. This altar felt very grounded. Lots of black and orange and a very strong, centered, grounded kind of feeling. That was what I had in mind when I pulled this together. So I'm gonna hop right in. Over here, I have my Wild Unknown. It's being guarded by clear quartz point and the peacock feather I found out in the desert. Yeah, ever since I put it on top of there, it has not moved. That's where he belongs. Here I have some snowflake obsidian, tumbled stones that I bought in a shop, and this guy is one that I found out in the middle of the desert one day. So yeah, look at that difference between found and tumbled. Interesting, huh? And then I have this piece of quartz as kind of like a wand. The reason why I chose him is because he has splashes of red inside. I have no idea what that red is in there, but it's like a blood red. And I'm just like, oh yes, this crystal. Yeah. I found him in a box of crystal points or whatever and brought him home. So yeah, he is on the altar right now. It just felt very seasonally appropriate. And then here I have a piece of red jasper that I found out in the desert. Here is kind of a representation of water, you know, with the cauldrons and stuff like that, but I feel like I have a lot of those going on right now. This one, a particular one, I found out in the thrift shop. And then inside, 2 pieces of milky quartz or quartzite inside. I always hold on to these when I meditate, when I do any kind of like cleansing work, as well as my 2 selenite wands, and there's a Palo Santo stick in there too. Over here, black and orange candles will be peppered out throughout the altar just to kind of set the mood. And then I have my essential oil burner back here, water representation. Again, another thrift shop find. Usually I'll fill it with water and whatever oil that corresponds with what I am working on. Here, another glass. This glass I will fill with water and let the candle float inside. And then a piece of red jasper. And down here, chunk of argonite down there, selenite, piece of black obsidian that's kind of like a claw. I use that to carve candles and scratch out things. Coyote representation, as well as raven or crow for the altar. Another piece of red jasper that I found. I pretty much have a good collection of these. So I could literally do like a circle of red jasper and meditate within it. Totally grounding, right? Then this side, this dish is filled with salt, kind of an earth representation. The candle inside as well. Again, another orange candle and black candle. Smokey is here. He's usually ever present, guarding the altar, as well as his companion. This piece of clear quartz is kind of, it's kind of got a shape to it that reminds me of a coyote face. see it, guys? Can you see it? So I always call it my coyote crystal. So it's just clear quartz, but it definitely has that shape. And I'm like, he and Smokey are always on the altar most of the time. Next up is this little incense burner. She's resting on a flat piece of rock just in case things get too toasty. And here I have this little dish that I'm going to use as a cauldron, but only for my full moon work. I believe that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm thinking about doing. We'll see if that's what I do. Next up, just a little bell from like the dollar store, you know, noise and cleansing kind of thing. It's resting on a nice big black rock that I found out in the desert. Someone obviously cut it. I really don't know what it is. It could be, I have no idea. I really don't. But there's pieces right there that are like super shiny that made me think it was obsidian for a minute there, but I'm not 100% sure. Big old solid thing, but I use him more as like a grounding little shelf more than anything. And then the bell here and another piece of red jasper. Little plate here that just keeps odds and ends. Quick at reach, pieces of charcoal, tongs. Usually I have my lighter sitting here as well. This is my candle snuffer. Look at that. Oh yes, candle wax. I just use him to kind of push the candle wick down and pop it back up. And then lastly, I have my cauldron center stage because it feels like the time of year that it needs to be center stage. Place a black obsidian arrowhead right here and a chunk of garnet on the top guarding, as well as a circle of techite. Techite is basically remnants of a falling star, you guys. This is amazing. I literally did not know what it was when I found it, and I did a shout out on Instagram, and all my rock hound buddies were like, I think it might be techite. And you know, I kind of looked into it and I was like, well, you know, it's actually kind of heavy and it does respond to a magnet. So whatever it is, it's got a lot of iron in it or some kind of metal, and I'm thinking iron more than likely. And I'm like, that feels very protective to me. Therefore, I use it as a protective stone. See, like this one just seems fluid, almost like lava. And then there's other pieces that are very metallic looking and shiny, or that have like sheer cuts, like that one. And they have that metallic look to them. And these little guys, see, look at that, it's like smooth and then rough. It's so strange. It just feels out of this world, to be honest. And they're very heavy. They're so heavy. And I don't know, when I hold them, it just says protection to me. So they have made a circle around the cauldron. So that is it, you guys. This is my altar for Samhain 2017. Did you guys change up your altar? I'd like to see it. Comment below if you did so I can go and check it out. Many blessings, guys. Remember, go outside, find the moon.